안녕하세요, 여러분. Hello, everyone. In this video, let's practice making some simple sentences in Korean. To do that, let's look at the sentence structure. First, in English, we say somebody does something. We know which word is functioning as which by looking at the word order. In Korean sentence, we say somebody, something, does with conjugated verb. We add subject marker right next to the subject. We add object marker right next to the object. That little something attached to each word to show the function of the word, we call it functional particles. Because of those particles, in Korean sentence, the word order can be switched around. We can still tell which one is the subject, which one is object. So in Korean sentence, the word order is not as important as in English sentence. We usually put verb at the end. How many subject markers do we have in Korean? Only two. 이, 가. We also have two object markers. 을, 를. These object markers will be covered in some other videos in the future. Let's focus on subject markers to make a simple sentence in this video. 받침 means foundation in Korean. It is the second consonant that goes underneath of a word. When a word ends with 받침, when there's 받침 at the end of a word, we use 이 as the subject marker. I'll give you an example. 물 is water in Korean. 물 ends with 리을 받침, so we add 이. 이 has the circle-looking silent 이응, right? So 리을 sound floats into the silent 이응 place to make sound of 물이, 물이. And then you can add the verb 어쩌고 저쩌고, blah blah. When the word does not end with 받침, when there's no 받침 at the end, you add 가, 가. Example, 우유, 우유. That's the milk in Korean. 우유, 가. 어쩌고 저쩌고, blah blah. Ta-da! This is the verb that we're gonna use to make sentences in this video. 많아요. 요 is conversational honorific ending. 많아요. Please note here is silent, so ni은 sounds floats into the empty 이응 place to make sound. 많아요. 많아요. That means there are a lot of something. There were so many verbs to choose from, so I chose this one. For your reference, the dictionary form of this 많아요 is 많다. In the dictionary form, please note here is not silent. It has function and it changes the sound of the following consonant. So from 다 to 타, 많다, 많다. Finally, let's start making some sentences. Water, what is water in Korean? 물. 물 ends with 리을 받침. And when there's 받침, should you use 이 or 가? When there's 받침, 이 with a circle. The circle is silent 이응, it's empty place. So 리을 sounds floats into the empty place and make sound 리, 리, 물이. What was the verb that we were going to use in this video? 많아요. 물이 많아요. There's a lot of water. Please note you can make the question using this sentence by lifting the intonation at the end and by adding question mark. 물이 많아요? Like that. 물이 많아요? Question mark. Is there a lot of water? money. What is money in Korean? 돈, 돈. Please note English O has different sound than Korean O. 돈. 돈 ends with 니은 받침. When there's 받침, 이 or 가, 이. Likewise, 니은 floats into the empty 이응 place to make sound, 니. 돈이. 돈이 많아요. There's a lot of money. Since in Korean sentences, um, often the subject pronouns are omitted, not mentioned, 돈이 많아요 can be translated as I have a lot of money or she has a lot of money, depends on the context. So if you're not sure, you ask, are you talking about you or she? Or that way you continue a conversation to clarify the information. But when there's a speaker and a listener, usually they know what they're talking about. So 돈이 많아요. There's a lot of money. Is there a lot of money? 돈이 많아요? The third word, another important word, time. In Korean, 시간. Please note that S sound in the beginning is soft S in smile. 시간, 시간. Ends with 니은 받침. Likewise, we add E, making ni sound. 시간이, 시간이 많아요. There's a lot of time. 시간이 많아요? Is there a lot of time? Question, right? Let's make some more sentences here. Tree in Korean is 나무, 나무. 나무 ends with no 받침. 나무가, 나무가 많아요. Apple. In Korean, 사과, 사과. Again, that S is very soft S. 사과, 사과. 사과 ends with no 받침. 사과가, 사과가 많아요. Banana. Banana in Korean. Banana. Banana ends with no 받침. So, 바나나가 많아요. 바나나가 많아요. Here's an interesting fact. Hamburger ends with R, consonant R, right? So if you're an English speaker, you might want to add after R consonant E, right? But guess what? There's no R sound in Korean language. R sound gets dropped. Hamburger changes into hamburger without R ending. Sorry. So hamburger 가, 햄버거가 맛있어요. Delicious. 햄버거가 많아요. There are a lot of hamburgers. Just for your reference. I feel like I was too repetitive throughout this video, but hopefully for the beginners it might have helped. So before I end this video, I want to suggest using this verb 좋아요. You try to make more sentences on your own. 좋아요, 좋아요. Again, here it is silent. 좋아요, 좋아요, 좋아요. That means something is good, some things are good. Again, the dictionary form is 좋다. With here, 다 changes to 타, 좋다. So, happy learning.